Hello my friends and welcome. Today I gotta fix this face. There is so much like swelling and darkness around my eyes. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but usually I don't struggle with any under eye darkness, but today I do. Today we gotta fix this. But the reason I'm recording today is because the new Victoria Beckham Cocoa eyeshadow came in the mail and I am so excited. This was an immediate yes when I saw it. And I'm really excited. The only fear is that this shade is going to be too yellow. We will see. We will test it out. But yeah, this is going to be the start of the show. I also have some lip products from Violette. These are their lip whip, like they're a matte lip cream. And I'm very excited about these. I have been wearing them, by the way. This is not new to me, but I may show you those. But also Jones Road came out with new lipsticks and they sent over a couple colors that look absolutely beautiful. So maybe I'll show you those. I don't know. We'll see. And a really exciting PR that I got yesterday. This is from Hourglass and I've already reviewed the other palettes that they came out with, but this is the horse palette. And oops, every time I get PR from Hourglass, it's just like shocking because it's one of my favorite brands, and for them to send me PR is just a dream come true. So we have the new horse palette and a brush duo, which their brushes are some of my favorite brushes. But yeah, this was just like a surreal moment. I get PR from them here and there, not all the time, but every time it's one of those that I'm just like, I can't believe I get to do this job for a living. I love it. So that's what I'm doing today. You can grab your makeup, get ready with me, or tea, coffee, relax, and let's get started. For the base, I'm actually gonna spray a little bit of this serum from Violette. I really like this product, even though the spritzer is not my favorite, but I love how moisturizing it is, and makeup goes on top of it really nicely. And the next thing I'm gonna do is actually underpaint. I've been loving this palette from M.ph. You can see I have been using it a lot. I feel like I'm gonna hit pan on the contour shade soon, and that's not one negative about these palettes, is there's always one shade that I use a lot more than the others, although I do use all of them. But this contour shade, I don't know, it's what I've been using a lot, and I kind of wish she would do refills for them, but it is what it is. I'm taking the lighter shade, which has a little bit of a peach undertone, which is very much needed, and I'm just gonna apply it right under my eyes and here where I have a lot of redness, darkness. Yeah, I just haven't been sleeping very well. Nothing new here. For a minute there, I actually really regulated my sleep. And then the past 2 weeks, it's gone downhill again. But we know makeup, we know how to cover it up and look perfect. I did combine these two for everything else. And then I'm going to take my contour shade and go right here. I have been using this palette all the time. I love it. I use every single color and it's so fast, so easy. There's something about the formula that I love, and I usually don't buy brushes that come with a specific palette, but this brush, it's not a must, but it is very useful. I feel like it applies the perfect amount of product and it works really well with the consistency of the product. So I've been exclusively using this brush with the palette, and a little bit around the lip as well. And last thing, I will take the bronzer, even though I will bronze up with the Hourglass palette. I really wanted to show you how I use this daily because I do use it quite a bit. I really enjoy it. It gives a very nice seamless look. For the skin tint, I'm actually using the Jones Road. I really like it, and I take a little bit on my hand and work it into my brush and then go in the center of my face where it's lighter and blend in all the products. I don't go in the darker area until I'm done blending the lighter sections, so I don't muddy the skin. And now I'm gonna start going over the bronzer contour area and blending all of it in. The concealer I'm gonna use is my Creal concealer. Look how much I've used. I adore this product. And this is in the shade 3. I am being generous with this one because I just have a skin tint. You know, I feel like I have a lot to cover today, but I still don't want a full coverage concealer. I want my skin to not feel cakey or heavy. Just something light. I'm gonna go back to the foundation brush and use that to mesh in the concealer with everything else. This is a must because it will just blend in the colors. It will just make it look a lot more smooth. I don't want there to be a big discrepancy between my foundation and concealer. It is just a little bit lighter than the skin tint, but not too much. And look how good the skin looks like. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And dark circles, sleepless nights, where? I don't see them. Let's powder under the eyes with my Chanel. I'm trying to move through these a little quickly because you guys have seen me use these products all the time. This is a KJH brush in the number 4. She came out with these lip contours. Actually, it's multi-use, so you can use them on your eyes, on your cheeks, on your lips, but they are arriving in the mail today, actually. So I cannot wait to show you because they look stunning. I have really high expectations for those. They remind me of the Road ones, but I hope that these will last longer because the Road ones, even though I love the actual product, they lasted 1 hour on my lips. And that was disappointing. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows real quick. This is the Ravi brow product and it is the best. I love the color. I love just everything about it, honestly. I will have to repurchase this for sure. I think this is in the color Ebony. No, this is dark brown, but I love the color Ebony even more. But both work for me. And a little bit of a brow gel. This is the Patrick Ta one. I like it, but honestly, I use whatever brow I have open. Okay, let's move on to the Hourglass face palette. This palette is exclusively at Sephora, and the colors inside aren't necessarily new, like the combination is new, but you know, we have Mood Exposure, the bronzer, I think we've seen it around. So let me go over the shades. We have Soft Light, Mood Exposure, Supernatural Strobe Light, Iridescent Coral, which I know I've seen that one, Iridescent Rose, and Glistening Bronze Light. So let's swatch these. I think if you have a ton of Hourglass palettes, you're going to have these colors. But if you're new to them, this looks beautiful. It looks like that perfect everyday palette that has some peachiness. It has some pink, some mauve shades. So these are the colors. And again, I think if you are a huge fan of Hourglass, you probably own most of these colors. But if you don't own any of them, this is a great mix of some of the best Hourglass colors. And also, if you're around my skin tone, I think this is perfect because it has some depth. It's not quite as light as this one, which is their lightest one this year. This one's a little bit brighter, like the blushes, but everything else is very, very light, as you can see right here. Oh, I'm sorry, these do not stay open. So this is their lightest one, which I have it in the Swan packaging, but it's actually the Deer palette inside. And let me show you the middle palette. This one, I didn't love the highlighter. It was just way too intense, but I did love everything else. So I think in the Horse palette, it's a little bit more balanced because the highlighter is not too intense. The blushes are a little bit more muted and kind of everyday. But yeah, they're all beautiful. But this one, I think it's a balance between the Deer and the Swan palette. It's like right in between. So, oh, actually, I want to try their dual brush. When I tell you I love the Hourglass brushes, I mean, I love them. I have them right here. I use them all the time. I have so many, multiple of the big ones. Yeah, anyway, is this a different one though? Yeah, this is a different one. I don't own this brush. What's the name of it? SA55. No idea. But I am going to start with the bronzer. Let's start with the bronzer right there. I do wonder if this is going to pack the bronzer too intensely because it is quite dense. I'm actually going to go with a fluffier brush. I will say that this fits perfectly in here. I'm going to use it for blush and powder and highlighter, but for bronzer I want something that diffuses the product a little bit more, and because the bronzer's here in the corner I can easily pick it up. So I'm just gonna use another Hourglass brush that's just a little bit fluffier, or a lot fluffier and bigger. So yes, I know we contoured underneath, but ooh. Okay, that bronzer is beautiful. Have I tried this bronzer before? It doesn't sound familiar to me. I don't know if I have it in the other palettes. But out of all the bronzers in the little palettes, this is my favorite without a doubt. I think it's the most wearable shade for me. Oh, that's really beautiful. Is this permanent? I want to check this because the bronzer is so beautiful. I don't see it here. I see luminous bronze light, diffused, radiant, but I don't see glistening bronze light. So I'm not sure. Is this new, guys? Help me out. I have no idea. I am not very familiar with every color from Hourglass. I know some people really dive into the details and they know when the color was released, with what palette, with what color story and packaging. I'm not that for you. I'm sorry. I can just tell you if I like it or not. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, yeah. I think this is my favorite bronzer, at least from this year's palettes. I think this works best for me. It shows up. It's not muddy at all. It truly bronzes me up. That bronzer is perfection. And I was hesitant to purchase this at Sephora when it came out just because I've already reviewed these. You know, I don't want to influence you to go buy more. And because there are no new colors from my understanding, again, I could be wrong. For blush, I don't want something too cool tone like the Mood Exposure. We know it, we love it, but it's not gonna go with my eyeshadow. The peachy one could. What about this middle one? I think I'm gonna start with this shade right here. Seems the most, not neutral necessarily, but it's not super peachy, it's not super cool tone. It seems like a good balance. Okay, so this brush fits perfectly in here, but it's not fluffy. So I love a really fluffy brush when it comes to bronzers or blush. This is a new favorite from Ciele, their cheek blush. I love the way it applies the blush, the way it blends out. This is a lot more dense. This is something that I would use for cream products or for foundation and concealer, to be honest. Okay, that is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted because it's not too pink, it's not too peachy, it's a good balance. This is a beautiful blush. Love that. I'm gonna use the same brush because it does work, it does blend it nicely, and the powders are so soft that it works. That is a beautiful color. I'm gonna switch up the brush. It's just what I'm used to, you know? I have so much more control over the application with a brush like this. So this color definitely has a lot of glow through it. That is beautiful. Guys, I think this is gonna be my favorite palette from all of them for day-to-day use. Is this the most unique? No, but this is beautiful. I don't have that blush, shade Iridescent Rose. I know I personally don't have it, and it's perfect. It's perfection. I love that so much. Okay, let's go back to this brush. Should I put some peach on top of it just so you guys can see? I love this color so much though. I don't think so. You guys have seen this color before. I've used it and it's really beautiful. It's a like bright peachy shade, stunning, but I really love this color. I'm gonna keep it here. I will try the highlighter because it didn't look like that super intense highlighter. It looks a lot softer. Oh yeah. Yes, guys, this is stunning. Again, this is exclusive at Sephora. I'm gonna put just a little bit right here. Beautiful. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is take this powder and just pretty much set my makeup. Was this in last year's palette as well? These names sound familiar and I want to say there's some from last year, but I could be wrong. Don't take my word for it. I'm gonna stop here with this palette because I love the amount of blush that I have. I love the glow. I really like this palette, and I am sorry because I don't want to influence you to buy another palette. I've already done the review on these palettes, and the darker ones somewhere there, which are beautiful. And if you are a fan of Hourglass and you own a lot, go for one of these. These are a little bit more unique, more specials. A lot of the colors are new in these. But if you haven't tried Hourglass and you want some good staple colors and you're around my skin tone, this is it. This is where it's at for me. I think for me personally, this is gonna be my go-to palette. Beautiful. I will go ahead and spray my face. This is the Hourglass Soft Focus Setting Spray. And this is one that I bought. This was not sent to me. Okay, let's move on to the eyes, which is probably the most exciting part, right? Victoria Beckham released a new color story. I do remember they had a burgundy color story that I think is available for a little bit. I didn't see it on their website or it's sold out, but that one looked really beautiful. I kind of wanted to grab that one as well. But this seems to be more of that everyday brown palette. And I did bring here my other Victoria Beckham palettes that I have. Some are the old formula, some are the new, but the old formula, I'm sorry guys, I loved it so much more. This to this day is my most used tiny palette. This and the Tom Ford Smoky Quartz. I think it is just brilliant. I also really like this one. And then she reformulated and came out with a few other color stories. And while I like these, I haven't reached for them much. And this was my favorite color story, but this color right here is so intense. So when I use this palette, I just kind of go for this color and the brown. So I don't know. It's a nice palette. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but it wasn't everything I wanted. And again, this is a great one, but I just don't reach for it that much. So I'm hoping that this color story will be it because the formula is beautiful, but to get a look that I really loved, I would have to kind of combine these two or just go for the mattes in this. So I wouldn't have any shimmer or anything like that because it's too intense. So yeah, I think the formula is great, but again, I feel like the color story wasn't quite right. So I'm hoping that this is gonna do it for me. Let's start swatching it actually. I'm gonna start with the lightest shade. Is that too yellow? That was my fear. It would be a little bit too yellow. So these are the colors. Love that color right there. But that yellow looks kind of yellow. Ooh, actually, see, not on the swatch. On the swatch, it looks much more calm. Ooh, this looks beautiful. Starting with a fluffy brush, we're going in that warm shade. She did release some eyeliners, which I have one of them, the Cocoa. I guess she didn't release it. She just promotes it. This is a very warm brown, which is surprising for the Cocoa color story. But I like it. This is something that I would use. Okay, I like that. Back to the eyeliner. She released this palette with 2 liners and the brown mascara. So the liner that I have is in the color Cocoa, which I absolutely love it. And then there was another color that I don't have that has some sparkle in it. And I don't have that one. It looks beautiful. Guys, this is much warmer than I thought it would be. This brown, don't you think? I thought it would be maybe a little bit more neutral, but I think it is quite warm. I'm not mad about it. I like it. I like a nice warm brown. Yeah, I like that. It's pretty. This is a shade that I would use daily, even by itself with mascara. I'd be happy with this. When I think of Cocoa, I don't think of a warm color story. I think more of a neutral, chocolatey color story that has maybe a little bit of a red undertone rather than yellow. And I think this brown is quite warm. Beautiful though. I do really like it and see myself using it as a daily palette just for this one. But it's just a little different than I expected. Going on with the deeper color story, which is probably why this is called Cocoa. I'm gonna intensify and smudge out this look. And then going in with the same brush that I used for the warm brown to blend it out. That's a good color. I like that color. Okay, this brown is what I was thinking it would be. Like a deeper, more intense chocolatey color that's more neutral undertone rather than warm. That one is perfection. And I feel like it calmed down the warmth of the softer brown. I see potential here. Yeah, that looks stunning. Now let's move on to this shade that seems very intense. And I'm gonna be gentle with it and apply it right here. Okay. I'm gonna use my other finger. I do not want this to be too intense. I want just a little bit of that shade all over, because I've made the mistake with Victoria Beckham to add like a ton of the shimmer shade and it overpowers the whole look. So honestly, even a brush would be nice. Now that is really, really nice. I like that. It does have a little bit of that yellow bronze, but it's so soft. It's not too much, so I'm not mad about it. I like it. I actually find it very, very elegant. This would be really pretty with a brush as well if you don't want to overpower the look. I feel similar about this as I did with the Victoria color story, that the shimmer shade that they offer is quite intense and it's dark. This is going to be beautiful if you have deeper skin tone. You're probably going to be like, yes, we've been waiting for this. But for me, this definitely makes it more of a smoky eye rather than a soft eye. I put very little and it definitely darkened the look. I'm not mad about it though. Don't get me wrong, I actually love this. I think it's really beautiful, elegant, and I can see myself using this in the fall, winter. I think it's really beautiful, but it will definitely darken up the whole look. Not as much as the color story Victoria. And let's try the lightest color right here and see. I'm kind of scared that this is gonna be too yellow. Oh no! Oh yay! It's not too yellow. Oh, thank God. Because you get so much product of that, and if it was just that more yellowy color, that would have been a no for me. I mean, it still has yellow in it, don't get me wrong, but it's leaning more champagne-y rather than too like gold yellow. Does it make sense? I'm just taking the fluffier brush and blending both of those colors together so it's a seamless transition. I do want to take this color, the sparkly shade, a little bit on the lower lash line right here and smoke it out a little bit. And you can absolutely skip this shade and just go with the mattes and a little bit of this satin finish. And that would be a great look. Just to clean up everything, I'm gonna go back into that warmer bronzy shade and go over everything. Kind of freely. Don't be afraid to bring the color out more. I think some people are afraid to take their eyeshadow and blend it out, but I think that that is what makes it smoother rather than stopping right here. But just have a very soft hand because I think it makes it a little bit more cohesive. Okay, I'm liking this, guys. Let me put mascara on and I'll give you my thoughts because I do see that yellow in the champagne shade. It's not too bad, but I still see it there, and I definitely wish that that was just a little bit more champagne-y rather than yellow. But let me put mascara on and see how it looks like. Here is the eye look with mascara on, and I did pull out the Cocoa liner, and it is a stunning one. I could have used this as my eyeliner as well, but what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna take it and tight line right here, just like 2/3 of the way. I don't want to bring it all the way in. For my eye shape, it will just close it in. So I'm just gonna tight line real quick. It is my second most used eyeliner from her. I use the black one all the time, and then this one. So yeah, it's a perfect tone. And yeah, this is the eye look. I have to say I love it. I think it's so beautiful. I think it is a very fall appropriate. I like the vibe of it, but I would not call this cocoa. I would call this more of a bronze eyeshadow palette because it's, to me, it looks more bronzy than cocoa-y. When I think of cocoa, I think of richer, more chocolatey colors, not necessarily bronzy tones. And that's just kind of what my mind takes me. And this does have a lot of yellow in the color story, in the bronzer, like the deeper bronze shade, and in the champagne shade. There is a smidge more yellow in those shades than I personally would like to see. Do I think it's still beautiful? Yes. Is this my favorite one from Victoria Beckham from the new formula? Yes. This is the most wearable one for me. I do love the way the eye look turned out. Don't get me wrong, but this is a very expensive palette, and if you do not like yellow in your shadows, you're gonna be disappointed. But I don't like yellow in my shadows, and I can make this work. I really like it. The one thing that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a highlighter. Let me show you. I'm gonna take one of my Prada highlighters in the shade 01 and find a clean brush. I'm gonna take just a little bit of this, and all I'm gonna do is brighten up right this inner corner. And you can do this with any highlighter that you have. And I think that makes this palette perfect for me. So if I would just have a little bit less yellow in that shade, I think it would be perfect. However, that's just a personal preference. That's just something that I personally don't like. That doesn't mean most of you are not gonna love that it has a little bit more yellow, but that to me made the eye look so much better. So in conclusion, I think this is gonna be my favorite palette and my most used palette from Victoria Beckham. I love the mattes. I think they blended out really nice. I even like the tones. Even though this warm brown was more warmer than I thought it would be, it's still beautiful. I love it. So yeah, this is a yes for me. I would repurchase it. I think it's really beautiful. It's just more bronzier than I thought it would be. Okay, moving on to the lips. And, you know, I did mention that I would show you these from Violette, and they are so beautiful. I just don't think I want to wear them today. They are these moussey matte lip products that I have used and loved. I've actually been keeping them in my purse. And I have here 3 of the shades, and I love all of them. I could actually probably show you this one. So this one is in the shade, oh, I physically cannot see. I have to pull out my phone to look. It is, oh my gosh, I don't know how to say this. Châtain Grillé, I don't know, that one. It's a neutral toasted chestnut. I would say that that's the most wearable one, or the most neutral, because I wear them all. The second one was, let's look up here, Ciele Fumé, this one. And then the last one, I think it's Mon Chéri. Yes, Mon Chéri. I've been wearing all of the colors. I love them. I put a little bit in the center and just blend it out with my finger. So let's go with the lightest one. I do this, and I just blend it out. It has a whipped matte formula, very comfortable, quite long lasting, and it can give that blotted effect. Look how pretty that is. My goodness, so stunning. That is so stunning, but I do want to show you the Jones Road lipsticks. So I'm gonna kind of take this off a little bit. The 2 colors that they sent over are the Tawny Nude, and I also have the lip liners from them as well. So Tawny Nude is that one, really beautiful. And then Rosewood, which is the one that I kind of want to show you. So Rosewood and Tawny Nude. They have lots of colors though. It's not just those. And I also have their lip liners. Now I've had the lip liners since they released them. I think they're so beautiful. The new one that they sent over is Rosewood. I picked up the other ones. I think I have four. I just don't know where the other one is. But I'll put Rosewood on first. I think it will work with the eye look. I actually had to take that off and scrub my lips because a lot of that product was left over from Violette FR. And I'm going to put a little bit of concealer on top because I just don't think the color was showing well because of that. Let's try that again. Let's go with Rosewood. There we go. This is such a good color. If you have not used the Jones Road lip liners, you have to try them if you like that classic sharpenable liner. It's so good. They're creamy, blendable. The colors are really good, but they're also long lasting. Look at that. That's Rosewood. It's a perfect color. I remember at one point, these liners were the only liners that I was using for months and months. Okay, that is the color Rosewood, and I think we should match the lipstick. This is the color Rosewood, but I'm not gonna go full pigment because it seems to be quite pigmented. I'm just gonna kind of almost tap. Ooh, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. The formula is that classic satin finish formula, very moisturizing. I don't feel the need to put a gloss or anything on top of this because it is quite hydrating. The pigment is very opaque from first application. That's why I was careful with it. I didn't want to overpower the eyes, but that is such a beautiful color. I'm going to put a little bit of Tawny Nude as well. I think this one's a little bit more cool tone. Just to test out the product a little bit more. That's really pretty. The colors are a little similar. I think the Tawny Nude is a little bit more cool tone, and Rosewood is slightly deeper and more red base, if you can tell right there. Yeah, they're both beautiful though. The one thing that I have to mention is that these are magnetic. The packaging is really nice, but the magnet is not very intense. So this happened to me once where I had it down here in my little lipstick holder, and I pulled only the cap off. So the magnet is not very intense, which scares me. If you just throw it in your bag and it opens up, that's something to think about. I think that is scary. I did throw mine in a bag just without thinking, and it didn't open, thank God, but I see potential of that happening. So if you do purchase these, make sure that you keep it in your makeup bag, just so it won't flop around in your bag and get it all messy. Again, I haven't experienced that. I can just envision that happening with how just soft the magnet is. And that is the finished look today. I feel a very fall with my kind of like brown fall sweater. I think the Hourglass palette, where is it? Right here, was a huge surprise. I did not expect to like it this much. I think it works really well for my skin tone. I think this looks perfect if you're around my skin tone. So this was a huge surprise. That is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, had fun. Leave me your thoughts down below. I do have the new Makeup by Mario eyeshadow palette. I have it right here next to me. I'm going to review that tomorrow, do a few looks. So make sure you're subscribed down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.